too fast. I gotta go, I'm in the zone, foot on the gas. Yeah. I go beast mode, all on the wall like Eco. I go crazy like CeeLo, can't stop me like Chico's.
Welcome to Sin City. It is NASCAR Xfinity Series practice and qualifying from the mile-and-a-half here, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, as we get the round of 8 underway for the Xfinity Series. And it's going to be a warm weekend here in the Las Vegas area, which means the track is going to heat up. You see the temperature at 91 degrees right now, very low humidity, but the sun beating down on this racetrack, even as we are getting to 5:30 here local time. Alongside our crew chief, Steve Letarte, driver Dale Earnhardt Jr., Rick Allen with you. And we'll start with you, Junior. As far as the track goes, the temperature 91 degrees, the sun's beating down on that. How does that affect the track and how these drivers will attack it?
Well, this track's really wide, and what I mean by that is the groove that they're going to run. It's on the apron. It'll be up against the wall. We're going to see them running all over the racetrack throughout the race, and even maybe in practice as well. So that's what they love about this racetrack. You have options here when you go down into the corner. If it's not working on the bottom, you can try the middle, you can try the top, and also, you know, you don't get stuck in the wake of that dirty air of that car in front of you. So drivers really love racing here, and that heat and everything just makes that track a lot slicker.
Steve, we kick off the round of 8. So is there a favorite out there right now? Noah Gragson maybe with the most wins?
Well, I mean, I think Noah has to be considered the favorite with not only the most wins. You see him currently atop the standings because of all of those playoff points. But there's storylines for storylines, whether it's the youngster Stan Mayer at the bottom, Junior Motorsports putting all 4 drivers in the round of 8, or the fact that we do not have a champion in the group. No matter what, whoever wins this championship, it'll be a first-time Xfinity champion. So it's crazy to say that statement and then say, I believe it might be the toughest 8 we've ever had. Like, I don't think there's a throwaway team or driver. There's really no pushovers in the crowd. You're going to have to show up, execute, and avoid mistakes.
Series director Wayne Otten agrees with you. He made that comment earlier this week. He thinks this might be the most stout 8 drivers fighting for a championship. Speaking of stout drivers, let's go down to our stout driver, Parker Kligerman, on pit road.
Oh, thank you very much, Rick. And what are these drivers about to tackle here at this Las Vegas Motor Speedway? Well, a track that's sort of different on both ends. Down in 1 and 2, as you can see where I'm staying on pit road, the shade has come over this racetrack, which will add a ton of grip down in 1 and 2. But down in 3 and 4, not the case. You still have the sun out, which is what they'll experience tomorrow. And the thing about this racetrack, though, that really sticks out to me when you talk to drivers about this place is it is fast. Yes, there's bumps down in 1 and 2. It's a little smoother in 3 and 4. But here in the spring, the SMT data showed a mid-corner speed down in that corner of 3 and 4 of 165 miles per hour. They're flying around this place.
Big speeds, mile-and-a-half, start of the playoffs, round of 8. What else could we throw into the recipe? As the cars are about to roll out onto the racetrack for practice here for the Xfinity Series, we look forward to tomorrow and a busy schedule. Cup Series practice and qualifying will start on the NBC Sports app at noon. Then pick up at 12:30 on USA. At 3 o'clock, countdown to green on NBC, getting us ready for the first race of the round of 8 for the Xfinity Series from right here at Las Vegas. That's on NBC and Peacock. And then the evening on the gridiron, Stanford versus Notre Dame, college football on Saturday night. We see Ty Gibbs rolling around the apron. They just were out there with jet dryers and jets trying to clean off this racetrack. We got to remember we're in the desert, so if there's not something taking place on the racetrack, wind's going to blow sand and different things across the racetrack. So it is very clean from what we've seen. Again, just less than 45 minutes ago they were out there cleaning the track off, but it's Ty Gibbs, the 54, out there getting up to speed.
See the shade on the front stretch, shade also in 1 and 2. Also, no truck race in the spring, a little cooler weather. Plus, the trucks kind of have already put some rubber down by the time the Xfinity Series gets on the racetrack. I think this is going to be one of the biggest tests for these teams. They're going to practice today in the evening or late afternoon. Come in tomorrow, we're going to have some cup practice, which is going to put even more rubber on the racetrack. And then they're going to come in and race in the middle of the day. I think this is going to be one, your notes are going to have to be really, really good because, of course, you want to drive good in practice, but I do think there's going to be a balance shift for tomorrow's race.
Yeah. Traditionally, the races here have, started in the afternoon and kind of ended later in the day. when there would be a big change in the track throughout the race. And I don't think you're going to have that tomorrow for the Xfinity race. You know, pretty much however the track starts, I think it's going to be similar throughout the event. Race should end around 3 o'clock local time. So if your car is not handling well at the start of the race, you can't count on that track to cool off, or the temps to drop, or the track to shift in your direction. You're going to have to hustle when you're on pit road to make the changes to help the car.
Yeah, no life preserver coming.
We had
it figured out.
Every time we race here at this particular track, it changes so much when the sun goes down, whether it's the Xfinity race or the Cup race. And the guys that are leading at the start of the race are struggling at the end of the race, and there's new players at the front toward the end of the race that their cars have gotten better. But I don't think we're going to have it as much this weekend because the race is starting so early in both events.
There's Brandon Jones in the 19. Out on track. We'll see what kind of speed he has. Right now it's Ty Gibbs fastest for a lap at 30.5 seconds.
This guy right here is, you know, one that I think makes me a little bit nervous if I'm you know, one of the playoff drivers up in the top 4. He could win this race, no question. You talked about it, Steve. All these guys in the playoff field are pretty strong and could go out there and conceivably make it to the final round. But this guy right here could pop off a win and slip right through the system there and lock himself right into the final round and go to Phoenix.
Well, and when you look at his numbers here, I mean, this driver, you know how well he is behind the wheel. He's going to move to Junior Motorsports next year, and the 25-year-old has more top 10s in Las Vegas than any other track that we see on the circuit. So a little bit of a close move, moving by the 31. And it kind of goes back to what you were talking about, Dale, right? This is a place that has that perfect mix in my mind, Rick. Like, I have to give the driver a good car. It has to do what he wants. But he also has to put a little hard work in for me, because you just aren't going to drive in and go to the white line at both ends all day long and forget about it. You're going to have to move around. You're going to have to change your shape into turn 1 to try to get over the bumps differently, right? If your car is bouncing the front over the bumps or the rear over the bumps, you can drive in a little shallower and straighter. You can make a big arc. But you're going to have to be creative and continue to kind of work on your line to help out your race car.
Here's another driver that currently is below the cut line in that bottom 4 with Austin Hill.
Yeah, I could see Austin making that final round as well and going to battle for a championship. He has all the ability and talent, and he's got a really strong race team behind him with Richard Childress Racing. They have a way of putting a fast car into their drivers when it matters. And I'm sure, you know, when you get down to it, it's, you know, they're a tough team to face late in the season. They pull all the tricks off the shelf. They push forward. They're willing to be aggressive in the tech line. They're willing to be aggressive with that race car to be able to make it fast. They'll take some risks. And I think this little driver here, man, he's going to be around for a while. He's found him a good home here, good fit.
So let me ask you, as far as Austin Hill goes, he won at Atlanta. The distance of the racetrack is 1.5 miles. So do you give him credit for a 1.5 mile win, or is that more of a restrictor plate, or, you know, a plate track?
It is a plate track. Another thing I think that, you know, the two don't compare. Between Atlanta and here, but Austin Hill has won twice here in the Truck Series, so he knows how to get around this racetrack.
What about the guy that just went by him in the 1, Sam Mayer?
You're seeing what newer tires are worth as well. Sam was a little slower out on the racetrack, so he has 4 or 5 less laps on his tires. And I think that's helping this one car look impressive around traffic. But for me and this 19-year-old, let's just have low expectations. I know that's not what you want to say. That's a scary move.
Yeah.
Driving her on the right rear quarter panel of the 36. But what I mean by that is he is only 19, right? And he could win it all. He could go all the way. But just really absorb what you're feeling, the pressure of the playoffs, how you're approaching it, how you're preparing. Take very good notes. You hope to be back here next year. I'm not ruling him out by any means, but at 19, I think, Parker, the goal is to just continue to kind of fill that book of knowledge of what it's like, because the playoffs definitely change these races.
Exactly, Stephen. I talked to Sam earlier today, and he had a ton of confidence coming in here because of running a full race here. He just said, you know, that experience, all the things I learned during that, it just applies to what I've done preparing to come here this time. So I just feel like I really understand this racetrack. But guys, I got to get your opinion on something. I heard from good authority Sam Mayer was spotted wearing his own Sam Mayer merch. He told me that's good advertising. I thought it was a big no-no for this young driver. What way do we go? Dale, you're his boss. What would you want your driver doing? Wearing their own merch? Or is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think if it's current merch, it's a bad thing. If it's old merch, say if it's a Sam Mayer t-shirt from 10 years ago, then it's okay. I don't know. I feel pretty good about the vintage stuff.
Well, I'm even okay with current merch as long as it doesn't have your image on it. Yeah. You cannot wear anything with your own likeness on it. Like if it's just a card, number, even signatures kind of going a little out there for me. But if it's just, I mean, if it's general junior motorsports stuff with just the one on it.
I didn't even like my name on my fire suit.
I'm actually laughing right now because I have a Parker Kligerman t-shirt that I brought with me here to Vegas, and I'm wondering, I bet Parker would wear his own merchandise.
Well, the other thing,
I do not wear my own merch, but you're allowed to wear that.
Okay.
Well, listen, I was going to defend the throwback because Sam Mayer throwback is like, I don't know, Bandoleros or the kid's 19. Yeah. Like, I don't know what his throwback is.
I don't know how far you could throw back a 19-year-old.
This was current merch, just so you know, and it said Sam Mayer on it. No likeness, no photo, but it is current. So that was a question.
Well, Noah would wear it.
I was going to say, if you're talking merchant or if you're talking wardrobe, I think Noah was spotted wearing a cowboy hat and shorts.
I don't think Noah has many rules when it comes to wardrobe.
All right.
Hey,
but he does have
success.
Yeah,
you drive like he drives, and having a year like he's having, he can rewrite the rules.
What stops Noah from winning this championship? I mean, here's a guy who now has experience. He's got momentum. Yeah. He's got confidence in the fact that he's going to race Cup next year. What is it that stops him from winning the title?
I think one of two things: a catastrophic mistake that really just, I mean, they're way ahead in points, right? So don't feel like you have to win here. Of course, Noah's going to try to win every race in this round, but he doesn't have to. So wrecking trying to win a race you don't have to win, I think would be a type of mistake that could eliminate the 9. That's really it. And other than that, it's just have a great race at Phoenix if he's fortunate enough to get there. But this is one that I feel very good about advancing.
Yeah, I feel good about Noah's chance to win a championship. I think that he's ready as a driver. I think that he has a great team around him. To me, it's those typical gremlins, a mistake on pit road or some sort of a failure or part failure that would take them out of the opportunity to try to win that championship in Phoenix. But I think he gets there and has, I think he's one of the 4, and I think he's maybe the favorite at that particular point. Yeah. I mean, I know the Gibbs cars are going to be really, really hard to beat at Phoenix.
Steve, what about Luke Lambert on the box for Noah? I mean, is there enough experience there?
Oh, absolutely. I thought he was a great pick by Junior Motorsports to come over and match up with Noah. I think he has the experience needed in these situations. Remember, he lived in that other garage area a while. We could talk all we want about Xfinity, but it is for younger crew chiefs, younger crew members, younger drivers. Well, Luke Lambert, he was in the frying pan of the Cup garage, and it is different. The pressure is higher. The field is deeper. It is Sunday for a reason, and I think that kind of galvanized him a little bit, and he doesn't mind that his driver beats to his own drum. He kind of,
really good lap right there.
Much
really
less flamboyant. He has the same amount of confidence, I believe, that his driver does. He's a little more off the radar, but he does it his own way, and I believe that is a way that can deliver a championship to this 9 car.
As we continue talking about the championship contenders, you've got to talk A.J. Allmendinger in the 16. Here's a driver who also is heading to the Cup Series next year. It was announced he'll race in a Colleague Cup car next year. It was a little bit of a surprise when Colleague mentioned that they're going to go Cup racing this year. When that announcement came out last year, that A.J. Allmendinger wasn't going to be one of the Cup Series drivers, but he said he wanted to stay here. He was having a lot of fun in the Xfinity Series and wanted to win a championship. Well, now he's got 4 races. There are only 4 races left in this Xfinity Series career to get that title.
He's had an amazing year, but I do have, I won't call it concern, but I can definitely see a path of challenge for the 16 car. He has won this year. He's won 5 times. But you got to remember, 4 road courses and a super speedway, and we don't see any in the next 3 races, right? We have 2.5 miles. I expect this 16 car to be a smidge of pace off from maybe the Toyotas, even the Junior Motorsports cars, and that's okay for AJ. But can he be okay with it?
Yeah.
He has enough points with all of those wins, and as good as he is, to advance to Phoenix. Now, they're going to have to find something to Phoenix if they want to win the championship. But I just get a little concerned. I mean, you look right now, he's 6th on the board, which isn't bad, but in front of him, you see Gregson, you see Gibbs, you see some of his competitors. I just don't know how he'll be able to handle that.
Remember, at 40 years old, A.J. Allmendinger, one of the veterans. We talk about the successes, and A.J. Allmendinger a year ago here in March.
Hey, now listen, if Talladega Racing could find this speed again at the 1.5 miles, then he, without a doubt, behind the wheel can get it done. And they have been improving, but they were a pretty big chunk off self-admittedly in the middle of the year. So we'll just see if they have, this is a little old school, right, Dale? Like in the Cup Garage, the cars, we're not really sure how you can make them a whole lot better during the playoffs, maybe not hold some stuff back. But this is the old car, right? Has Kaulig been continuing to build and revamp and refurbish and try to continue to make that playoff push?
I think the 22 points that he has over the cut line and his veteran savviness and the opportunity to get stage points, all those things are going to help him advance. I just don't know where they will be on the racetrack in terms of speed and pace. I mean, right now, looking at the lap times he's running, not too bad. Showing some really good pace here after about 10 or 15 laps on a tire comparable to the people he'll be racing to win this race tomorrow. But they have been a little bit off this year.
Yeah.
What we really expect out of Kaulig, what we feel like that they expect, I don't think that they've had that type of pace this year, but maybe they find it right here at the back end of the year.
All the resources, all the attention are going to go to this one car in the Kaulig stable now. They have 3 cars, but only one now with a chance for a championship.
That's an excellent point, Rick. I do believe that will help AJ's chances. And I'm sorry if you're a Hemrick or Atlantic Castle fan, but such is life in sports. You're eliminated, so it's not like we're not going to bring a car for you, but this one is getting all the attention.
And his teammates are now his best friends out on the racetrack.
Yeah.
They will be tasked to run everybody as hard as they possibly, make it more difficult for those other contenders and those other playoff drivers to be able to advance. They're going to be working for AJ. That's sort of the mentality over at Kaulig, is for those drivers to do whatever's asked of them on the racetrack, and they'll be doing that.
Josh Berry, the 31-year-old. Here's a driver who started in the NASCAR world quite a bit later than most of these drivers that he's racing against. But we talked about it a year ago. Josh Berry able to get out there, win right away on different styles of racetracks. Was able to win here a year ago at this racetrack. So how did his championship hopes look as we have just 4 races to go?
Something about this 8 car seems to be amiss a little bit in the last 4 or 5, 6 weeks. And look again today, right? He's 28th on his fast lap, which is just 1 lap, so I'm not panicking. His longer run speed right here, he's 18 laps in. It's starting to look much better, so I don't know if he had traffic early in the run. Maybe they just had the car a little too low. I didn't get to see what his first run on the racetrack looked like. I just need him to qualify a little better, to be quite honest, right? He's qualified poorly enough that it's really just been a battle from the go. These Xfinity races are relatively short, and then starting behind just makes it tough in that first stage. The points start to get away from you a little bit, so we just need him to qualify a little better. That's why I'm concerned about that fast lap. Now he can prove us wrong later in qualifying. Maybe they'll make the right adjustments. And this is why it's so challenging, right? Because here we have the 18 of Trevor Bayne. Great looking paint scheme, by the way. That thing pops on the racetrack. Non-playoff driver because he doesn't run full time in this car. But I mean, you see his stat right there. I mean, you're talking top 8s in the last 5. This is a guy you're going to have to contend with. He's going to be right in the mix of these playoff drivers.
Taking points away.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Taking points away from some of these guys in those stages. Because he needs to go out here in his mind. He's like, hey, I'm here to win. I need to win. He has yet to win with these opportunities he's had this year. So the antsiness is ramping up, right? For him, he's gonna be taking more and more risks on the racetrack to try to accomplish that goal, and he believes he can do it, partner.
Right, Dale, and I had a conversation with him about this situation. He said coming into this season with this JGR opportunity, he was like, I need to win 3 to 5 races to restart his racing career, right? That's why he's doing this. He wants to come back racing in a big way, and so he's felt so close to winning this year, finished second multiple times. He's like, I know we can get it done, and I just need to win, not only for myself, but I feel like if I can do that, it might help some of the deals I'm trying to put together for next year, just get over the line. So for Trevor, there's a lot of emphasis on trying to get to victory lane, which, you know, the playoffs are happening around him, but that's not really on his mindset, right? He's trying to go out there and show, hey, look, I can still get this done, and I should be here in the Xfinity Series in 2023.
Yeah, when all of these guys that race every single week are on the racetrack, they absolutely know when they see a playoff driver out in front of them, out the windshield. This guy right here, Trevor Bayne, he doesn't know who's in the playoffs, doesn't care. Outside of the 54 car in Gibbs and the 19 car of Jones, other Gibbs race cars, he's not going to really care about what other agendas these other guys are on throughout the day. Like Parker said, he wants to get him a trophy today. Already feels like he didn't meet his own personal goals this year for what he had set for himself. And so I feel like the pressure has got to be on his shoulders big time to be able to go out there and produce in a car that he feels like should be winning.
I'm not sure how to handicap this one, Rick. I want to stand here and say that this should be the championship favorite because of his age, his experience.
Ability at Phoenix.
I mean, everything.
Yeah.
And it showed, right? I mean, he won a low-grip racetrack at Darlington. It's concrete, but he won at Nashville. Had some great runs, right? Like, you go back to Kansas, another low-grip racetrack. But the first round of playoffs were not what he was hoping for, and it really started with that 29th place at Texas. Now, I will say, while 15th at Talladega and 5th at the Roval don't look like a highlight, you know what it was? All they needed. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's the experience coming through. Maybe Allgaier took a deep breath and said, okay, we got through the first race. We had that bad issue. We didn't finish Texas. I got to take a deep breath, Parker. I need to get some points, right? I mean, I think this 7 car, I mean, I think he has what it takes, but I'm kind of waiting to see it.
Well, and I think he's had a similar mentality, especially this race. I think he's put a lot of emphasis on this racetrack because this is a place he's run really well at. You remember, he just lost this race last year. He's run up front multiple times this racetrack, just has a ton of confidence, he said, since his Penske days. But the reason being also is that Homestead, Miami, next week, he's like, I don't feel as confident there. I am as confident at Martinsville. So for him, this is a race that helps him control that destiny of being able to go fight for a championship. So putting a ton of emphasis on this weekend in this race particularly, and then right now in practice, just a little update where he is. He's 20th on the board in terms of fastest lap time. Seems like the long run a little better, but they came down pit road and made some large adjustments, including a Packer adjustment, and took a considerable amount of time to do that here on the 7 car because he was just not happy with the balance when they fired off in this practice.
The thing that I wanted to say about Justin, he is, I think, in the best position he's ever been in to win a championship. He's a veteran, been around a long time, but he is he does not drive like a veteran to me. He is a high-risk gambler behind the wheel of the race car, and it is in his DNA. This is not something that just kind of, you evolve and change. He is going to take big, high-percentage risks on restarts. There'll be 3 wide moves up the middle, whatever it takes to try to be able to gain positions. That leads to some contact that some might see as unnecessary in certain scenarios, especially throughout the first round here in the playoffs. And there's times when I'm like, there's times when he has me so spun out and on edge as an owner because I'm thinking, why do we need to do that right now? But that is his style. No way are you ever going to be able to change him. He's a gambler.
And what's more interesting is that's not his personality at all outside the race car. Like, I don't, at least not the Justin I know, like, but then when he puts that helmet on, I think Dale sums it up perfect. That's how he drives.
Red and black flags are displayed. That's the end. And what better place if you're a gambler to go out and run than Las Vegas, here where you can gamble. And we'll see if it will pay off. Practice done now for Xfinity Series. We will set the field. Qualifying is next here for the Xfinity Series. This is the first opportunity for one of the 8 playoff drivers to solidify a position in the championship 4 with a win here at Las Vegas. Take a look at the practice from just moments ago. Ty Gibbs was the fastest. 2 names notably not on that list. Allgaier and Josh Berry. They were 20th and 28th respectively as far as the 8 drivers that are part of the playoffs. Those 2 were the slowest of the 8. So Josh Berry probably trying to figure out something to make that car a little bit faster for qualifying. He's standing by with Parker.
Right, Rick, you mentioned it. Just didn't have the fire-off speed there. So, Josh, didn't have the fire-off speed, but maybe a little happier with the car in the long run. Where was that fire-off speed? Did you miss the travels? What was the deal?
Yeah, we took off just a little bit free, but I feel like I kind of underdrove it, too. This place, like we were talking about, this place is tough to kind of gauge what kind of grip it has. And but we, like I said, I feel like on the long run there, we seemed pretty good. We really didn't fall off at all. So, and that was kind of what we saw here last year, too. So, yeah, we'll see what we can do here in qualifying and get ready to race tomorrow. It'll be completely different tomorrow anyway. It's going to be super hot, so I know we'll be ready when it counts.
All right, so you mentioned the grip changing. I mean, we've watched the sun literally set here in front of us. It's now entirely shaded down in 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 as well. So how do you judge the grip level in qualifying here?
Yeah, it's definitely more than I expected. So, yeah, I have some good notes from here. We qualified pretty well in the spring, and I feel like I know what I need to do different there. But overall, like I said, I was actually really happy with the car. So, like I said, we'll see what tomorrow brings.
All right, before we let you go, what importance level do you put on this race in this round? You have Homestead, Miami, and Martinsville. Of the 3, is this one of the most important for you to run well at, possibly win, considering how good you guys have been at Mile and a Half and having won here in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be a great opportunity for us for sure, and some additional confidence knowing that we won this race last year. So you definitely want to get off to a good start. You know, it definitely helps everybody's morale if you can get off to a good start here in this round of 8. So, but like I said, with Martinsville and Homestead still coming, you know, we know that we'll be good there too. So we're just gonna do the best we can. That's all we can do.
Your boss man's up in the booth. Can you tell him that you're going to be a little faster in qualifying? I think he was a little worried.
I'm sure he was, but no, I think we'll be all right.
There you go, Dale. You guys are going to be just fine, he says.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. 9/10 off of Ty Gibbs, and just I wanted him to say, yeah, we hit the ground, we had to come in, put Packer in, but to hear him just say we underdrove it, that has me a little worried. Now, I'm your driver, Steve, and we're 9/10 off, and I just tell you, I underdrove it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to say, like, how far is a little bit? Just like, am I looking for, how much of the 9/10 am I looking for, and how much are you looking for? Because I do love that thing about John. That's as candid as he gets to go, man, I think I'm going to be okay. I just messed it up a little bit.
Teammates glancing up at the pylon here. Maybe they were even glancing all the way up to the stratosphere. How about that ride? You won't see any of us
Not a
on
chance.
that one.
In this year's MotoGP World Championship.
And Sunday schedule for MotoGP Australia, that kicks off at 12:30. You know, just 3 races remain in that MotoGP season, and only 2 points separating the top 2. Monterrero up on top right now. Countdown to green will be at 2 o'clock, 2:30. Cup Series playoffs. Again, that is on Sunday. Make sure to join us for Countdown to Green. Christopher Bell will be with Dale Jr. and Jeff Burton. How about the odds for the championship? We're going to break that down as well. And on the clock, we'll look at former champs that aren't a part of the round of 8. Those that could be the spoilers for the final 4 races of the season. Qualifying underway now for the Xfinity Series. It will be single car qualifying 1 lap. Fastest time wins the pole, so only 1 round.
Kyle Weatherman on the track. We have seen him put some really impressive laps together in this 34. Junior, I know you had mentioned on your download, he was a driver you kind of pointed out at one point as a guy you'd like to kind of watch on Saturdays. Always seems to find a little more than I perhaps expect out of this 34.
Is driving for Jesse Iwuji, and I have to admit, I think that Kyle's impressed me, but I've also been impressed with this team. As the years went on, their equipment, their preparation, the cars they're bringing to the racetrack continue to improve and get better, giving Kyle that opportunity to go out there and get those good runs. So as Kyle has been able to, help this team sort of grow as they came onto the scene, a new team, he's also kept their race cars clean, not tearing up a lot of stuff.
Really tight again. Completely missed one and two, but I tried to go around the bumps, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get that high.
And their cars can get better if they're keeping them in one piece. So good job all around.
He was a half a second faster than what he ran in practice. Let's go to Parker.
Catching up here with Haley Deegan, who's making her first ever Xfinity Series start. 16th in practice. That's really good, right? What was that experience like?
It was wild. I think just trying to grasp a whole new concept of a car. Trucks, I've been told, handle so much differently than most other cars. And so I feel like I'm learning something totally new. A lot of different things that, I know, so I jumped out of the gas. Most of the time, a truck, it'll handle totally different. It's going to turn better, when you jump out of the gas. But, in this, I noticed I got tight, when I jumped out of the gas. I was like, oh, man, that's different. So, just learning the gist of everything, you're out of the throttle a lot more than you are in a truck on 1.5 miles. So I've been told that from a lot of people, and then now experiencing it, man, you're off the throttle a lot compared to a truck, but also got more power.
So I was pushing you at Talladega. I thought I could try and go to the front with you. You end up finishing 6th. Best finish in the truck series. What kind of confidence does that give you coming into your first Xfinity Series start?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I feel like we made a few changes on the team, and everything's been working out great, getting better finishes, better results, and now we're making our first Xfinity start.
Best of luck in qualifying.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Matt Jaskol finishing up his lap, 31.44. And next out was supposed to be David Starr in the 08. He won't be qualifying, but it's 78 of Garrett Smithley making his 4th start here of the 2022 season.
And this is a smart thing you're going to see some of these guys do, run the high side coming to the green to get a little momentum off of turn 4 down the front straightaway. If you run the bottom, you slow the car down a little bit more, and you don't really have that much speed going down the straightaway. And we heard Weatherman talk about going around the bumps. Well, that's exactly what Smithley's doing. He's not even going to drive to the bottom of the racetrack for fear of the car bouncing across those bumps and getting up the track. He just drives around them through the middle of the corner. I think that's a smart, fast way around turn 1 and 2 as long as your car turns there. Going to go to the bottom here because there's not really any bumps in 3 and 4 that are going to bother the car that much, Steve.
Yeah, much like every track, it seems like it has a tunnel. Las Vegas is no different. In 3 and 4, the bumps. The difference versus, say, Texas, other tracks, to Dale's point, is they're much more severe lower on the racetrack. So as you go up the banking, you can kind of go around them. And even if you're not trying to go around them, sometimes just less steering wheel, just trying to have the car run a little straighter.
I could hustle it that way, so I think we did the right thing.
Can we expect a half a second for every driver? Because right now we've seen 2-3 drivers that have gone and they've picked up about a half a second each on their qualifying run.
Yeah, you just saw Mills here run the bottom of the racetrack. The car starts moving around. He chases it up the racetrack, loses a lot of time to Smithley's lap. And that's the risk of running the bottom. It might be the shorter, quicker way, but if you upset the car over the bumps, you're going to lose a lot of time down the back straightaway. Parker.
Well, guys, I found someone, probably the coolest person here. I'm just going to say it. Mark Martin. What are you doing here? Las Vegas, checking out the Xfinity Series qualifying.
That's right, man. I want to check out all these guys and checking out the race cars and love this place. It's really cool to be here and see some old friends and a lot of new people I don't recognize.
So what are you up to these days? Where can fans see you? What are you up to? What are you filling with your time?
Well, we're here this weekend because the racetrack has started this Legends program, and they're honoring me as the first legend because we won the inaugural race in 1998. But the cool thing is we have the car here.
I saw that.
Yeah, that we won the race with. So that's really cool. I'm excited about sharing that with the fans and stuff. So we're just having a good time, doing a lot of stuff, autograph sessions, hanging out with the fans, Q&As. We got a lot of stuff going on this weekend. It's a lot of fun. I'm a huge fan of the sport. I usually watch on television, but it's really cool to be here this weekend.
I'm going to put in a small plug for you. Recently, I just bought one of your shirts from the Mark Martin Archives that your son Matt has put together. It's very cool. How can other fans go get some of these awesome retro shirts you're putting out?
It's Matt. I mean, it's his vision, and the fans are loving it. I mean, he's got the website, archive site on hold right now because he's here with me handling all this stuff, and he's a one-man army, so he can't be selling stuff while we're here because he can't ship it out, but it's been, the response has been overwhelming. Just can't thank the fans enough for all their support.
Awesome. It's great to see you here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Hall of Famer Mark Martin, and Dale Jr., he was the guy who got your first win for your organization right here at this racetrack, Las Vegas.
Sure did.
As we saw Raja Karuth go out and put together a great lap, 30.492.
Really impressive. I'm curious as to where that'll end up. Jeffrey Earnhardt out on the racetrack right now. 6/10 off, 7/10 off, struggling to get this car around the racetrack.
As we see qualifying continue, right? The sun is gone, the lights are on, track temp is down almost 12 degrees from the end of practice. So, you know, adjustments to the car and the track cooling. Speeds I expect to continue to go up.
Caruth the fastest here already. Even faster than what we saw out of Ty Gibbs in practice. How will that put him in qualifying? Qualifying continuing from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Saw a little bit, maybe smoke out of the left rear, coming up to speed through 3 and 4 for Mason Massey. Maybe a little bit of tire rub. We'll see if we see any more of it. Well, there's some sparks hitting the racetrack there.
Yeah, he's got a little tire rub. You see it. Man, we were pushing this car. Looks like he's got her hung out there off of turn 2, getting everything he can get. The tire continues to rub right there. A lot of yaw in this car. A lot of movement in the back of the car.
A couple top 10s already for Mason Massey here in 2022. And that'll put him 4th quickest.
I know he won't be happy about that lap, but I'm going to tell you right now, watching him get around that racetrack, I don't know that he could have gotten more out of it because that car, he pushed it to the limit. Nick Sanchez right here getting a great opportunity to drive this fast 48 car.
Let's go back to Parker.
Catching up here, if Jeb Burton's watching some of these laps, especially Mason Massey's lap there. That was a bit wild, but you have a very fast car from practice. What do you think you can do in qualifying?
Parker, I'm really proud of Chad and all my guys. They worked really hard on this car, and it showed. We're 11th fastest in practice there. So I don't know how good it's going to qualify. It was race practice was good, so I think hopefully he's got me tightened up enough so I can go put down a lap. I think he can qualify in the top 10, and our little team that's overachieving. So that's what we want to go do. Appreciate State Water Heaters and all our partners that are on here. You and I were just talking, and I was asking who's in the booth, and not sure why my Uncle Jeff isn't up there. Maybe it's past his bedtime, so I don't know.
I'm just going to let it go on that one.
Always a smile. And the family, the Burton family, very tight-knit. Father Ward for Jeb. Great success on the racetrack. As we now have Parker Retzlaff out on the track.
He got into the apron a little bit down there in turn 3 on entry, and I think that hurt his lap a little bit in 3 and 4. Simple little mistake. Sometimes a car turns way better than you anticipate. You go down in the corner, and there's no way you keep it from hitting the apron. It happens from time to time. As these temps cool down, the track, you know, you see the sun's gone down and the temperature in the track cools down. The car is going to have a lot more grip than you've had in practice, so to be prepared for that thing to turn down in there. Chris Wright right here in the 68 car out on the racetrack, and that lap from Caruth looks better and better with every car we have on the track.
Yeah.
Nobody's been able to even get close, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a 1-second pickup for the Caruth lap, and to your point, I didn't, you know, you try to be optimistic, but you just know what the track has in it. But the more cars that run, when we still have a solid 3/10 of a gap back to second for Nick Sanchez, who actually, it was a nice lap in that 48 car after 11th place at Texas, trying to run a little bit. Love to see that one spot better at a top 10 here in Las Vegas.
Chris Wright, 3 truck starts here at Las Vegas, but had never raced here in the Xfinity Series.
So here's Haley on the racetrack now. Hanging tough here, only 0.5 tenth back on the back straightaway down into turn 3.
And she had mentioned, the trucks are much closer to wide open throttle with so much drag. This is going to be a big adjustment to just try to go qualify this car with much less downforce and more power.
Was that the same thing? Her getting just right to the apron there and maybe unsettling that car?
I think she might have underdrove 3 and 4 a little bit. And maybe that, Parker talked about it earlier with the.
Yeah, I think
she'll be happy with that. Parker talked about how that's that 3 and 4 turn is in the sun all day, and so it had a lot less grip when these guys were just out there an hour ago practicing. And so they're all going down into turn 3 thinking it's not going to turn as well. That extra grip now has those guys heading into the apron, Parker.
Catch up here with Sheldon Creed, who's been watching the same thing, Dale, and we were just chatting about it. So how much grip do you expect down there in 3 and 4?
Oh, gosh, I think to be on the pole, you're going to have to come wide open. At least that's what I'm going to try. I don't know. That was cool to see Haley run a good lap there. First time in the Xfinity car. So, yeah, the Wheel and 2 guys were trying stuff this weekend, just trying to develop and get better for next year. And, yeah, felt pretty good to the center of the corner, a little tight, so we work on a few things. And, yeah, hopefully we can qualify good. And then racing under the sun tomorrow, hopefully we can rip the boards and get the top rolling. But such a cool vibe tonight, qualifying under the lights. We don't do that a lot, so having fun with the guys, and hopefully we can go put up a good lap here.
Do you enjoy this idea of the grip level picking up, the speeds picking up? We start to see sparks this nighttime qualifying.
Yeah, I actually wish we'd qualify more at night and just get more night races in general. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, love it, love Vegas. Hope we go put up a good lap for our guys and have a good day tomorrow.
Good luck and lap.
Thank you.
Sheldon Creed used some terminology there. Did you understand what he meant when he said ripping the boards?
Whoa, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, that's what the kids call it now.
Kids these days. Look at this lap by John Hunter Nemechek.
So John Hunter was top 5 in practice. So this is a good, estimate of really where the pole might be. Also tells us about what kind of lap Caruth, Deegan, and all those had.
So to your point about the lap for the 44, Raja was 26th in practice and almost 9/10 of a second off from fast time. So, yeah, he's 3/10 off. There's going to be 10 or 12, 14 cars going to fill in there, but he's going to qualify probably right inside the top 15, just outside the top 15, which is way higher up than he was in practice.
Bailey Curie out on the track now. And we see him slotted in 5th.
Josh Williams right here. 8 starts here at Las Vegas, running at the finish at all of them. He does a nice job at taking care of the equipment, getting the most out of it. Great personality. Fun to see him down there on pit road and in the garage. You mentioned you got to, with some of these smaller teams, it's not just where you finish, but how you finish. If you can bring them a clean car home, it's going to run faster next time. They're going to learn something about that car, make it better, come back. If they continue to try to fix these cars, it's hard to really ever get ahead.
So Williams 9th quick inside the top 10 so far of the 16 that have taken time. And, oh, look at this. A little bit of fun there with Parker. Well, big smile on his face. And now it's the 46-year-old that's taken to the 1.5 miles here. J.J. Yaley on the clock for Xfinity Series qualifying from Las Vegas Motor Speedway for tomorrow's race. And just taking the green there as he goes through 1 and 2 for the first time on his timed lap. Yaley was 21st quick in practice earlier at a 31:29.
Pretty good little practice for this team. And I think it's going to be a good lap for them. I think they'll be happy about this.
Big pickup there, 30:59 for Yaley, and slots him in 3rd So as the temperature continues to drop, the sun obviously sets and not beating down on the racetrack, that means the racetrack's going to get even quicker with every lap turn.
Yeah.
Stephen Parsons, this is going to be interesting. What a turnaround we've seen out of Alpha Prime Racing, and Stephen Parsons behind the wheel. The finishes have been phenomenal.
Yeah, you know, I've been impressed by this team's progression and the speed that they've found throughout the year. Stefan's done a really, really good job too, surprising us and showing us that he's a guy that deserves a little bit of attention, maybe a closer look in terms of the talent he has. Puts it there in second place.
P2 there, bud. P2.
And you see the excitement on the radio. That's, that tells you this team's fired up, excited about what's happening around them, what they're able to go accomplish at the racetrack. You love to see these teams change. You'd love to see them evolve. You'd love to see these teams get better, find ways to make the business model work, and also go out and compete and race, race harder and race for better positions, better finishing positions, and that's happening for them.
Here's Jeff Burton. We heard from him earlier. He was predicting the top 10 starting position, and 30:45, the exact same time that Parsons has run. A young man we're expecting a lot out of. Oh, hang on to it.
Oh, boy.
A big slide.
Knock it down, hang on, dude, here.
It looks as though the right front blows, but he is going to keep it out of the wall. Riley Herbst with a wild ride on his qualifying run.
That's some great driving right there. Get in over the bumps.
Just probably flat spot.
Yeah, get in over the bumps, loses the back of the car. It continues driving. It uses the throttle to keep it out of the outside fence.
Knock it down, hang on, dude, here. Straighten your wheel out and roll. Roll.
You can see the bumps, the bottoming out. Very treacherous down there in the bottom of 1 and 2. Watch this car.
I love that onboard. You heard him keep working the throttle to keep that car driving down the banking.
Riley was also a car that was in the top 5 in practice, so had some good speed. Probably was going to go out there and be a threat for the pole, and there was some great reactions down on pit road.
Sam, look at him cheer him on to keep it away on, or keep it out of the wall. and then surprised and impressed by what Riley Herbst was able to do.
Riley just needs to be real patient getting it back here. You don't want to tear it up with the 2 flat tires. I think he's working his way through the garage area right now. Unfortunately for the 31, Myatt Snyder was on the racetrack, so he was coming up to speed. We have 2 cars at a time, so they might have to cool it down. We'll see what they think about temperatures, but it definitely will hurt the tires a little bit.
All right, Parker, we saw the reaction out of Sam Mayer. Let's hear from him.
We did, Rick, and he was watching all of that, and you said, oh, he hit the ground hard. You saw that bottom out there. Does it make you a little worried about your car?
I'm not too worried about our accelerated Camaro. I think our guys have enough experience here to really know what this track is going to do from daylight to nighttime. So I think we'll be pretty decent. We were good in practice, so I'm confident in these guys. I think we're going to have a good run here.
Don't worry. So we talked about your merch situation. You wearing your own current merch. It's been decided. As long as it doesn't have your face on it, it's probably okay. You agree with that?
Hey, as long as it's okay, it's okay. Hey, got to get the brand out there. Everyone's going to wear Noah merch over me, so I got to get my own brand out there.
I think you can get some. You're making fans day by day like that.
Progress. Yes. That's all I'm going to say.
All for progress. I love it, guys. Here you go. Sam Mayer, everyone. Young Sam Mayer, as I'm going to dub him now.
Young Sam Mayer, 19 years old, out of Franklin, Wisconsin. This is Sheldon Creed, and you see him in the green through 1 and 2, and down the backstretch. Can he hang on to it?
Yeah, we should start seeing some cars really flirting with this pole. I think John Hunter Nemechek had a fast enough car to get the pole, but went so early that maybe these track temps as they come down are going to give the advantage to the cars that are going later.
Creed said he thought he could go wide open, or thought you would need to go wide open through 3 and 4. Is that what we saw there in drifting up the track?
There was one little burp. It looked like out of the gas, but it was nearly wide open, closer than I would want to be. And a good lap, 30-13. I agree with Dale. John Hunter, I think, had car enough. Just timing's going to hurt him a little bit. All the playoff guys go at the end. I like that kind of adjustment, right? We're going to put all the playoff cars together in this qualifying format. There's so much on the line. A day like today when the track cools, they kind of have the same opportunity.
So Myatt Snyder's issue, he was out on the racetrack. They brought him back onto pit road. They let him cool down. How much time does he have on pit road before they send him?
Well, normally they will only give you as much time as you need, 4 or 5 minutes. You know, you can't sit there for a long time. You would take as much as possible.
And it's that long.
Yeah, it's about.
He's already out on the racetrack.
Here's your question, Rick. Not much.
Yeah, not a lot of time cooling things back down, but we'll see how he does here. Jeremy Clements just finished his lap, 30-32, and that puts him third.
That car tracked pretty well over the bumps, to be honest. It looked real dancy in the back, pretty secure. You see the pace kind of going away up the track a little bit here in 3 and 4.
Myatt, his win in Xfinity a year ago at Miami. As we see that lap, 11th fastest for Snyder in 30.88.
Yeah, like I mentioned, you know, he had a couple corners on his tires, so that definitely probably hurt it. How much, hard to say, but doesn't help it for sure.
Here's Daniel Hemrick, eliminated out of the first round of the playoffs from his title defense. Parker.
Well, guys, Noah Gregson right here watching Daniel Hemrick's lap very intensely, because Noah, tell the world what you just told me as we see the temperature start to come down here. Do you think what do you think you're about to do in this lap?
I'm going wide open.
You can do it
around here. I'm going to try. There's 2 options. It's either going to be really good or really, really bad. So, yeah, it's cooling down. Our Bass Pro Shop Camaro is pretty good. Probably need to get through the bumps a little better, but I think I can create some angle, and I think I can do it.
All right, guys, you heard it. Wide open for Noah Gregson. Keep your eye on that.
Hey, Dale, congratulations. You own that car, and it's either going to be really good or really, really bad.
Yeah. Steve, you said it earlier. Noah Gregson, probably just with, you know, routine races, is going to advance to Championship 4. But we've never seen anything routine out of Noah Gregson.
No, but what I appreciate about Noah is, you know, we see a lot of race car drivers that generate some personality when it's time to go on camera. But Noah is Noah all the time, and there's something about being authentic. That's who he is, and it's going to be fun to watch this qualifying lap.
And coming up, it will be the Championship 8 drivers. Hall of Famer Mark Martin chatting with Ty Gibbs. Mark Martin, 4-time winner here. Most Xfinity Series wins in the Xfinity Series drivers. What do you think he's showing him there? His motor coach?
Something awesome. Mark
cool.
Oozes cool. There's you know what I appreciate is when you see someone like Ty Gibbs right there just fully engaged. You know, when a Hall of Famer like Mark comes around, he mentioned earlier some faces he doesn't recognize. Well, they recognize him.
Oh, yeah.
And you just love to see kind of that respect from the competitors of a completely different era. But they know how tough he was in a race car, man. He made it happen.
Here's Landon Castle on track.
Landon is one of the best qualifiers traditionally. Kind of surprised by that lap. You can see in the throttle data, not able to really keep it wide open like it's going to take to get through 3 and 4 and get the pole.
That's what I'm waiting to see now. Noah kind of put it up there. I'm ready to watch this driver data, see how committed they are to the throttle. As now we have Trevor Bayne. He's just a quick, I mean, that is a quick blip out of the gas. And you see it on the lap time. I mean, it is trending. He kind of breathed it a little bit just to set the car and was right back to it. Now let's see 3 and 4. Okay, that looks like that wasn't wide open, but that's as wide open as I would ever dream of being. This is going to be a monster lap right here from Trevor Bayne.
So much commitment to be able to go down in there and lift just that little bit and get back to the throttle. you really don't know yet how much grip you've got.
Sub 30 seconds, first lap.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, that's the point, right? That is 0.8 of a second faster than he ran earlier today. I mean, so, picked up nearly a second.
There's Austin Hill,
who has a great lap going, but after Trevor Bain's lap, he doesn't even get the trend in the green at all.
He's the first of the round of 8 championship contenders that will qualify. And making their way down onto the apron, that violent change, you think it's okay?
Yeah.
Worth the move?
It's less violent than those bumps are on the bottom of 1 and 2. Just shorten the distance up.
There's Sam Mayer now.
Sam with a pretty early turn down into 1, real shallow. But it's hanging on there, pretty good lap.
Yeah, he almost didn't even need all the racetrack on exit.
Yeah.
That was very impressive.
That was the lowest entry that we've really seen. It's kind of a theory of either go around the bumps in 1 and 2 or go under them.
Barely bleeped the throttle there in 3 and 4, but he's still about 0.2 of a second off what we've seen out of Trevor Bain.
P2, 29.92. P2, 29.92.
Toyota with Trevor Bain on the pole, and now another Toyota right here, the 19 of Brandon Jones. Brandon is on the commitment. A little touch of the brake, and you see the lap time show it. Right, so something he was feeling in the bumps. He just had to touch the brake to settle the car. Not going to hurt his lap too much, but it's definitely going to take the opportunity of a pole away, I think, unless he has just a great view.
Way out of the gas in 3 and 4.
Well, the problem you have right now is, as cool as it is, you could definitely make up time probably in 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4, you're so close to wide open. You could definitely probably do it a little bit better than Trevor Bain did it, but I don't believe you're going to, you're not going to make up 10ths of seconds down there. There may be some hundredths available. That's going to be about it, though. All right, he said he was going to be better.
Felt comfortable on the longer runs. We'll see how he does for a lap. And, chasing it up the racetrack there.
Still going to be a big pickup from his fast lap in practice, but just trying to look up exactly where he ran. He had run a 31.43. So I think he's going to pick up well over a second, probably a 1.25 seconds down in the low 30s.
Car still looks a little bit too loose through 3 and 4.
8 for Barry. That's a big pickup from where he was in practice.
Yeah. When you're watching these guys qualify, though, you got to think about where they're going to put themselves in position to be able to go get the stage points in stage 1. So it is not going to be easy to pass some of these cars tomorrow in the heat of the day.
It isn't, but if I'm anything, a little free tonight makes me a little bit. If you go in there and you're tight with tape on the grill, I'm really worried about the heat tomorrow. Long run junior motorsports cars, we've seen them before. That's kind of some of that freeness. Some of it you just can't get out. It's so much that's built into the car that you're just going to have to put up with it. And while 7th isn't great for Allgaier, and Barry's not going to love 9th, it is closer than what we have seen at Texas. Barry was worse, and I thought he needed to be better. That's better. You can attack from 9th.
Now it's Noah Gregson's turn. Again, we mentioned all 4 of Junior Motorsports cars are still fighting for a championship here. And a great turns 1 and 2 for Noah Gregson. He said he was going to go wide open. We'll see if he does it through 3 and 4. Will the car stay underneath him?
You saw a little breathe and a touch of the brake. The car worked off the bottom, either loose or tight, I couldn't tell, but definitely was up the racetrack. He was committed, full committed, until the car moved off the white line.
Second quick to Trevor Bain now. Noah Gregson with a good lap. It's Ty Gibbs and Allmendinger left.
What I liked about that was he was the fastest through 1 and 2, through the bumps, through the trickiest part of the racetrack. He has the most, most pace, most comfort. When that car bounces and can't get through those bumps, you really are limited on how to get around that corner.
That's what just happened to Ty Gibbs right there. He got in there and it looked fine, but then as he gets through the bumps, the car just moves up the racetrack. So to your point in the race, will the bottom be gone, right? When you're racing somebody and somebody holds you down there in the bottom, you have to be committed across those bumps.
Second fastest for Gibbs. So now one more that Trevor Bain has to avoid. to grab this pole for tomorrow's race, and that's A.J. Allmendinger on track now.
And he's coming off back-to-back wins, so he's not short on momentum. Trevor Bayne looking on.
Look at the pace off of turn 4 into turn 1. Did the best of anybody down the front straightaway.
Losing a little bit down the back stretch. Won the pole here in the spring. And across the stripe, 29.71. Allmendinger gets it.
You won, bud. Good job. 29.71.
I'm impressed.
Good job, man.
I'm impressed with that lap.
Yeah, I was mentioning I had some concern because it wasn't a road course or a super speedway, and the 16 carries that momentum from the road course and the super speedway. The back-to-back wins, you mentioned it. He is a pole sitter here before, Rick, and he's proven once again the 16 in college racing, finding the speed when it matters.
Swept the poles in 2022. So A.J. Allmendinger grabs the top spots. Trevor Bayne will start on the front row, but not on the pole. Parker.
All right, Rick, and he's smiling, just laughing at that lap there for AJ. What'd you see in that lap? Maybe you could have done better than yours.
AJ did me dirty there, Parker. I mean, come on, the last car beat me by 100th, at least beat me by a couple tenths so I can sleep tonight. I got loose off of 4. It was kind of like a 4-wheel slide, and I got out shaking, but I knew there was more left for somebody. But we kept dodging bullets with the 9 and the 54, and I really kind of didn't even think about AJ because practice he didn't have a lot of speed, and Jason came up and said, oh, AJ's left. He was fast here last time, always qualifies good here, so congrats to those guys. But dang it, I wanted to be on the pole here, front of the starting spot. Our car was free in practice, so we needed that clean air. We've got a little bit, just got to make that first restart exciting now.
Yeah, well, we've got this grip level that's going up and up and up. Now tomorrow it's going to be hot, sunny. What are you expecting?
I don't know. You tell me. You probably studied a lot this.
You know, I think you got to get to that wall problem.
Okay, perfect. That's what I'm hoping for, honestly. In the spring, it was so cold. It snowed on you guys here, and they ran the bottom, and we talked about it before the practice, that I hope it moves up to the wall, and that's really probably what this Devotion Toyota needs, is to be able to run the top. As free in as I am and tight in the middle, if you can use that wall, kind of that air buffer there, you can really make some speed, and I like running the top, so let's just pray for that tonight.
Ripping the boards, Rick. That's what he means right there.
Yeah, the kids, that's what they're saying now, ripping the boards.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely where the race is going to go. I think 20 laps into this race, we're going to see half the field on the fence. And they'll be there all day long, as hot as it is, and this race running early in the afternoon.
Trevor going over to congratulate A.J. Allmendinger on grabbing the pole, and as he mentioned, it was 13/1000ths of a second that separated the two.
Well, he said, just beat me by a couple tenths so I can sleep, because he's got to think about where that 13/1000ths was.
That was it. Let's take another look at A.J. Allmendinger here, riding along with him.
Here's just a little breathe of the throttle, kind of to guarantee it gets to the bottom. Man, that was impressive. Such a good job getting to the bottom, not touching the apron, as we've seen a few guys that kind of drives down there with that cooler track temp and the big wide exit you mentioned. He gets to the apron, but definitely a little less violent than some of the others, and it was enough. And look, the reaction.
Oh, so close. Parker.
AJ, the Mr. Las Vegas, sweeps the poles here in the Xfinity Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Where did that speed come from?
I held my breath. That was it. Thank God we don't have to do 2 laps, because I was out of breath by the time I got back around. No, but it's SRS distribution Chevy. We got some work to do in race trim, but when we're able to tape it up, it gets kind of the balance that we need. So definitely got to go to work tomorrow or tonight to kind of figure out what we can do. But a lot of the credit goes to Daniel and Landon, because without them going early enough to kind of tell us what they felt, I wouldn't really know what to expect. So I was hanging on there, but good enough to
high commitment.
It was this old body, man. I don't know. So, but no, overall, it's a great start up front. It's all about trying to earn as many points as possible in these stages and finish best as possible if we can't win. So the ultimate goal is to go try to win this race, and if not, maximize like we've done all year.
I saw you talking to Trevor there. He was hoping you'd beat him by a couple tenths so he could sleep. Where do you think you beat him out there?
I don't know, because I honestly, both corners, I was sliding. So I kind of came off. I was like, I think that's decent, but you know, that's what's tough when you race here in the spring. It's so cold. You got this commitment level of like, okay, this is what it's going to feel like. And you go off in 3 and 4 coming to the green. You're like, doesn't feel like that. So it's a good day. You know, it's like I said, we know in race trim we need to be better, but hey, starting up front.
So how do you mentally tackle tomorrow? You guys have been so good this year, rumbling towards a chance to fight for a championship. How do you focus on the race at hand and not the bigger picture of the championship, or vice versa?
Well, I think right now we're in the position of we just race it the same way, and that's what we've done all year. If we don't have the speed tomorrow to go win the race, then we just got to try to score as many points as possible. Just try to limit the mistakes. And if we can do that, I feel confident that we can make it. But at the end of the day, I look at it that if we make it to Phoenix, that's fantastic. If we go through these 3 races, we make no mistakes, and it's just not good enough to make it to Phoenix, then that's all we can ask for is giving our best. So that's what we focus on. We don't change anything that we've done.
I think this guy's on a bit of a heater, though, guys.
Well, 2 poles in a row. He won the pole at the Roval a week ago, and now he's won here at Vegas.
And then you're in Vegas, Rick. You can't walk away from a heater. So if he's on a heater, you're just going to have to, I mean, he's your guy then, right?
Let's take a look at the starting grid and how they will come to the green flag tomorrow. Allmendinger, Trevor Bayne making up row 1. Then you see the playoff drivers with the purple chip next to their names. Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs making up row 2.
Daniel Hemrick, you mentioned it, Junior, that, you know, that could be Allmendinger's best friends or his teammates, and he mentioned the information they gave him during qualifying helped his performance. Hemrick right there in row 3.
Jeremy Clements with a good run there. Row 7, Sheldon Creed continuing to improve, enjoying this night qualifying.
Yeah, Allgaier and Barry, you know, I think close enough, right? From where they had in practice, I think they're going to be happy with those laps. How about Haley Deegan there in row 10? Yep. JJ Yaley, Haley making her first Xfinity Series start. That's a lot to go out in the cooling track and find the pace in that car.
Rajah Caruth and Stephen Parsons making up row 9.
Great effort by that team.
Both going out a little bit earlier. The track continued to cool.
Good qualifying run by Garrett Smithley right here in row 13. Pretty impressed with that. Good to come out here in the limited opportunities he gets.
And taking a look at the last page.
Riley Herb spun out over in turn 1 and 2, so he'll have to come from the back of the field. David Starr, Kyle Sieg didn't get to make laps. Their cars were in the garage. They'll be on the back row.
We'll talk more about the race tomorrow. Again, it's the first race of the round of 8 for the Xfinity Series.
All right.
We're underway in Vegas.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Your brake, hold your brake. Yes, match, man. What a moron. Big wreck here.
Several cars collected in that melee. 3 playoff drivers in that wreck.
Side, 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide. Side.
Josh Berry wins at Vegas.
1, 2, 3 finish.
For the second time in 2022, A.J. Allmendinger has won the pole in the Xfinity Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Tomorrow's schedule, it'll start off on NBC Sports app. That is Cup Series practice and qualifying at noon. Then Cup Series practice and qualifying will transition over to USA at 12:30. Countdown to green at 3 o'clock. And Xfinity Series playoff racing. The first opportunity for the Xfinity Series to lock themselves into the championship 4. That's at 3:30 on NBC and Peacock. And, of course, Stanford versus Notre Dame. Again, college football taking place tomorrow night. As we look at the playoff standings, Noah Gragson as all of the playoff points transferred over to the reset of points for the 8. Noah Gragson with the most coming in. The drivers below that line, Josh Berry, Austin Hill, Brandon Jones, and Sam Mayer, all fighting to get above the line or get a win here at Vegas so they can lock themselves into the championship 4.
And all these drivers except Josh Berry will be starting in the top 10, trying to hold on to that track position, but battling each other inside the top 10 for stage points all day long, trying to tighten up this points battle right around the bubble there.
It's going to heat up right away, too. The first stage is only 45 laps. So, you know, the first pay window is right around the corner inside the first fuel run. So the intensity from qualifying should transfer right into the race.
You say heat up right away. It's going to be hot here tomorrow in the afternoon. Will it be Justin Allgaier's year? Well, Parker's standing by with him.
And he's right on that bubble. Ended up qualifying 10th, which we found out is not such a bad thing because in the spring you started 16th, got to 5th. How was today, and what do you expect for tomorrow?
Well, practice was a little bit interesting. We felt like we struggled a little bit at the beginning, but got that figured out at the end. Felt like our pace was really good in our Brant Fast and our Gold Camaro at the end of practice. Qualifying, I knew was going to be a little bit of a struggle, and I drove down into one, bottomed out a little bit, over the bumps, and unfortunately didn't get the lap that we wanted, but still a solid effort. Compared to what we normally qualify here, so that's a plus. And we've got a lot of really good finishes, couple second places. We were second.
3 to be exact.
We were second here last fall. I got beat by my teammate. So we go out and do the things that we know how to do here. We know we're going to have the car that's capable of doing it. Our Camaros are always fast. So hats off to everybody at Junior Motorsports. We're going to go have some fun.
Quickly, you're right there on the bubble. How much is that on your mind? How much do you think about those points of the race?
You don't. For us, right now the only thing we're thinking about is a win. A win at Vegas puts you in, and you don't have to worry about Homestead or Martinsville. And I know that those are, here is a great place for us. Martinsville's a great place for us. Homestead's questionable, but I feel like with the speed we've had this year, any one of those 3 we could go win at. I would much rather get the win, right out of the box, and not have to worry about the next 2. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I know that when a race comes down to the end, we'll at least have a shot at it, and that's all I can ask for with this team.
Well, guys, this is an important one for Justin Allgaier.
Very important.
Yeah, he says he doesn't worry about the points, man. It kind of makes me a little nervous. I might get on the radio and be like, hey, man, the point situation is this. Let's try to take care of it. But he's, like I said, he's a gambler.
And a good place to be a gambler here in Las Vegas, as we see Chris Rice step in there with A.J. Allmendinger celebrating the pole here. Steve, are we going to expect, you said a short first stage, guys fighting for those stage points at the beginning of the race?
Yeah, this is really the tale of two races, right? There's 2 45-lap sprints to get this thing going, and then when you see the green flag on that third stage, it's over 100 laps long, 111 to be exact. So a big monster third stage. May even see green flag pit stops.
And I think it's going to be important who can run the wall the best. That's where this race is going to be won, especially on the long run, getting up against that fence, making speed there.
Ripping the boards.
You sound very youthful when you say it, Rick. I like that.
Well, we'll see if that's the road that they will take to get to victory lane here at Las Vegas. More NASCAR coverage always available on NBCSports.com. Coming up next on USA, the blind side, except on the West Coast. It was a couple sightings of Mark Martin, the Hall of Famer, here tonight, starting off the weekend. And a spin by Riley Herbst in qualifying relegates him to the back of the field. But in the end, A.J. Allmendinger, the fastest in Las Vegas. He starts from the pole tomorrow.